All right, Shalom Akim. Shalom, Shalom. This is your brother's Kaya Allah. All right, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Coming with another lesson through the Spirit. Lord willing, to be edifying to the Lord's elect. And before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruchak, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who teach well. Shalom to the Akim out there that's pushing the truth, that's laboring in the word, and that's pushing the gospel of the great kingdom that's soon to come. Shalom to the Akwath that's listening in, that's remaining true to the faith and remaining faithful and submissive to their husbands and guiding their children. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes that scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. You Israelite foreigners out there who live among the heathen and who look like those heathen nations. But your lineage goes back to the progenitors of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel through the line of your fathers. I want to say peace and blessings to you all. Shalom, wa chasadim, wa barakim. All right. So, some major escalation, you know what I'm saying, in this war just took place. All right. Apparently, Ukraine has attempted to assassinate, all right, your boy Putin, okay? And this is during the time when, all right, when Zelensky was in the midst of peace talks with Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying? So the fact that this happened, okay, at this point in time is very alarming, you know what I'm saying, to say the least. All right. And it's very suspicious because it only brings about more questions. You know what I'm saying? Why the hell would you do something like this while you're literally in the midst of talks? Okay. And then you have Zelensky saying, "Oh well, it's fake." You know, Putin is trying to place blame on Ukraine to try and stifle the peace talks and whatnot. But why would they want to do that? You see what I'm saying? They clearly don't want to have a fight with NATO and the EU. You see what I'm saying? So none of this is making sense. Okay. In the idea that that peace is trying to be garnered. None of this is making sense. But when you think about the fact that Zelensky himself is a small hat, when you think about the fact that these Amalekites have a real heavy hand to play, all right, in terms of warfare, you see what I'm saying? Then it all makes sense, all right. And essentially, you know what I'm saying, ultimately, it's the Lord that's doing this, man. So, without further ado, Salakia, let me turn these off. All right. So without further ado, let's get into this video.
This is Dabu 7. We've got word of major escalation here between Russia and Ukraine at a time when many were thinking peace was going to happen. Russia's foreign ministry saying that Ukraine has tried to assassinate Vladimir Putin, trying to attack his residence in the Novgorod region, sending some 91 long-range drones, all which were destroyed by Russia's air defenses. They say that this is reckless action, it will not go unanswered, and that in terms of the talks, that they're on hold, their negotiating position will have to be reviewed. So, Ukraine, in return, Zelensky and all them are saying that that's a lie, and they're trying to say that Moscow is preparing for a massive assault on Kiev to hit government buildings inside Kiev. Now, there has to be some kind of proof, evidence, satellite imagery, something to show that these drones went into Russia and then made these strikes or attempted to make these strikes. There has to be some kind of something out there, or else it's going to stand as a possible staged event. You know, without any proof, they're definitely going to try to say this or that or wing out there some wild accusations. But it looks like Russia is putting the pressure on, basically saying that, look, you come to the table to talk for peace for real, or we're going to start pounding out Kiev. And if that's the case, anything can happen at any moment. I think everyone is absolutely sick and tired of the back and forth and tired of Zelensky holding this whole thing up. So Zelensky better really watch his tail in Kiev at this point, because he would be the prime target in all this, knowing that once he's removed, elections could take place. Whatever leadership is going to come after that can get put in place. And all this talk of the United States and Russia having big economic ties and big negotiations on the table, all that can go into motion instead of war, which has just been costing lives left and right. But to be this brazen, to try to strike the home of Vladimir Putin, is about as far as they can go at this point. They're not going to come close to hitting the Kremlin or anything like that because of the defenses around it. I think that they thought there would be less defenses around this position, and that's why they tried to strike it. But prepare for blowback, big time, they say here, because huge moves are about to be made from Russia in retaliation to this. I'll leave links. Join me for the live stream tonight, going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, talking about this in a lot more in greater detail. It's been Dabu7. Much love.
All right. So as you heard with that, this is pretty much taking everybody by surprise. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching this thing unfolding, and I'm looking at the different headlines. Right. For example, I'm at RT.com. I'm looking at this article right now. It says Ukraine launched 91 kamikaze drones at Putin's state residence, says Sergei Lavrov. All right. It says Moscow will review its negotiating position given that Kiev has fully turned to state terrorism, Sergei Lavrov has stated. The Ukrainian military fired a barrage of 91 long-range kamikaze drones overnight at Russian President Vladimir Putin's state residence in the Novgorod region. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov revealed late on Monday. The Kiev regime has fully switched to state terrorism policies, and Moscow will review its negotiating position accordingly, the top diplomat warned. All the unmanned aerial vehicles were destroyed by air defense systems of Russia's armed forces. All right, he confirmed this. Okay, now remember what I told you. All right, as the beloved elder Yashawamba had brought out extensively that this dude Zelensky is a small hat. Okay, which makes sense because given the fact that they're coming from Ukraine, which was in times past, all right, known as Khazaria. Okay, it makes sense that this man would be an Amalekite, man. You know what I'm saying? So with that information, check this out. All right. It's very interesting that this all happens when Trump is meeting with, all right, Satan Yahoo, an Amalekite. It's interesting how they're doing this. You see what I'm saying? Nothing is by coincidence. Nothing is by coincidence. So let's get this in the book of Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 20. It says, "Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, that he hath taken against Edom." All right, Amalek is the chief tribe of the house of Edom. Okay, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Okay? So these Amalekites are behind this. Okay, and they're up to something, man. All right? Many people stands to gain from this conflict. And don't forget, all right, don't forget that chart from The Economist. Okay, not that chart, but the what's the word? Don't forget the front cover of the magazine The Economist. All right, which Lord willing, I may touch on that a little bit in the video. But let's listen to this video right here. This is from Associated Press. Okay.
What was the outcome of your telephone call with President Putin this
I
morning?
had a very good talk this morning. I waited till this morning because it was pretty late by the time we finished, like 2:30 in Russia, 2:30 in the morning. And we had a very good talk. We spoke at 8 o'clock in the morning our time. And it was a very productive talk. I mean, we have a few very thorny issues, as you can imagine. He knows about thorny issues probably better than anybody in the world, but it's working out. We have a couple of issues that we're going to get resolved, hopefully, and if we get them resolved, you're going to have peace. Have a beautiful day.
Mr. President, are you worried that this strike, the alleged strike on Putin's residence, could scuttle the peace discussions?
Yeah, I don't like it. It's not good. I heard about it this morning.
Did Putin tell you
You know
that?
who told me about it? President Putin told me about it. Early in the morning, he said he was attacked. That's no good. It's no
But
good.
you
Russian officials
Don't
said
forget, the Tomahawks. I stopped the Tomahawks. I didn't want that. Because we're talking about, it's a delicate period of time.
but
This is not the right time. It's one thing to be offensive, because they're offensive. It's another thing to attack his house. It's not the right time to do any of that, and can't do it. And I learned about it from President Putin, and I was very angry about it.
All right. It says he was very angry about that. Okay, so Putin gave your boy Trump a call this morning. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, bro, this ain't gonna go. This ain't gonna fly, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna fly. We're gonna have to deal with this. So expect, you know what I'm saying, these things to start moving. All right? Expect to see these things moving very soon. Okay, so let's go to Isaiah. All right, Isaiah chapter 13. Isaiah 13:3, it says, I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger. Even then I rejoice in my highness. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. Right? The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. So it's the Lord that's getting these different troops together. Okay? So let me get this image real quick for you. Bear with me. All right? So you can clearly see at the beginning of this thing, all right, where it says the world ahead 2026, geopolitical drift, opportunities for China, at the Gaza outlook for the Middle East, beyond Ukraine, Russia's next moves, the global economy is a crisis brewing. Okay? The global economy is the crisis brewing, sporting values, political, football, okay? Weight loss, drugs, blah, 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 blah. All right? So look at this. Clearly, this is going to be about warfare. Two swords in the middle. All right? Again, Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, Satan Yahoo, and Trump. All right? And behind those swords, you see the economy falling apart. Okay? So let's go back. Let's as a matter of fact, let me show you this one video that I got queued up also from from your boy Davu. All right, Dabu7. Check it out.
Hey guys, Dabu7. We've got some back and forth here that's escalating quickly between China and the United States. And this has everything to do with $11.1 billion that was sent to Taiwan, part of an arms package that China is extremely ticked off about. So they have launched these drills, and they've completely surrounded Taiwan. The thought here is that at some point, they're going to go into live action. It's well known that China's got a plan to try to take over Taiwan and unify it with the mainland by 2027. That's approaching fast as time is just flying by. This isn't the first time or the first drill we've seen similar to this where they're flanking parts of Taiwan. But this time, this is like the biggest, the boldest, and they seem to have them almost completely surrounded here in terms of this drill. And this is just one aspect of things. On the other side of the coin, the silver coin, so to speak, silver is sitting in a precarious spot. The market has been torn in two. And what we have is the West and the paper markets that have long been manipulated, trying to hold down a $70-some price, while Shanghai has a price of $89. Now, there's a lot of experts weighing in on this out there, but when you do the math and you break it down, China and their price is signifying the demand price, and they are gobbling it up quick. If you don't know and you missed it, the huge news connected to this is they are stopping all exports of silver out of China on January 1st. Come January 2nd, when the markets open back up, we're going to be watching silver to see what happens. At some point, it's going to have to correct. It's going to have to catch up. But normally, this would never happen. This shows you the game is broken.
The game is broken. Because I'm looking at silver right now. All right, on my laptop. Silver, okay, according to the US market, silver is down from $79 to $72. Okay, but guess what the price is? Guess what the buying price still is? It's still in the 80s range. It's still in the 80s range, man. Okay, with the price being no less than $81. So clearly these guys are trying to manipulate the market. And just as Dabu said, you know what I'm saying, the market is going to seek to correct itself, and if it does it properly, then that means that it's going to reflect the actual price of what China is calling for. Okay? And what these Moabites are about to do is shut it all down, man. Pretty much that could cause the first domino to tip. You know what I'm saying? In terms of the economy crashing, because when you take away the silver out of an entire country as big as China, okay, to stop the exports of silver, so that means they're going to hoard all of the silver that they have in a time where everybody needs silver more than anything. You know what I'm saying? Now more than ever. So this is going to do something to the markets. Right? So we got war that's on the horizon, as you can see right here. You can see right here on the side there. Slovakia. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, so you can see around zone 1, zone 2, all right? All these different zones. So they completely blocked off Taiwan right now doing their drills. Okay? And with this sort of blockade, that can keep any outside forces such as America or Japan from coming in to assist Taiwan. Right? So whatever these guys finna do, they about to do it soon. They about to do it soon, man. Okay? And they said They want to end. They want to you know take over Taiwan, to annex Taiwan, and have it become part of China. You know what I'm saying, by 2027. So that means they got to get this thing popping off quick. So expect to see things happen in January, man. Things start moving very rapidly. You know what I'm saying? This is it's about to be January 1st in what, just 2 days? You see what I'm saying? So, hey man, today's the 29th. Expect to see some shit. Expect to see some shit. You know what I'm saying? And all of this, all right, all of this is backed by these Rothschilds. All of this is backed by these Rothschilds, man. Okay? We tell you all the time about these families, okay, who control the flow of world events. Okay? They're the ones who are behind that magazine that I showed you, The Economist. All right? They're the ones behind that whole magazine. So all the imagery, all the prolific images that you see that I showed you, okay, with the swords, with the missiles, with the convertible freights into armored, into an armored type of fortress type thing. You know what I'm saying? All right, all these things, these Amalekites are behind it all. All right? Let me prove that. Bear with me. All right, this is from the peoplesvoice.tv. The headline reads, Rothschild heir confesses no country dares wage war without Rothschild backing. Okay? And this is one of the heirs of the dynasty of the Rothschilds. Okay? Now looking at her, she may not look like much, but they like to tell you all the time that that Elon Musk is the richest man on the planet. No. The youngest Rothschild is worth 10 times of what Elon Musk is worth. All right, I'm going to say that again. The youngest Rothschild is worth 10 times as much as Elon Musk is worth. Elon Musk is a low level luminary. You see what I'm saying? And that's the truth. That's the truth. Back in the early 2000s, all right, this family was worth hundreds of trillions of dollars. That was in the early 2000s. You see what I'm saying? To give realistic terms, this family has to be worth multiple quadrillions of dollars. Okay? Let that one sink in. Dame Hannah Rothschild, a seventh generation member of the infamous Rothschild banking dynasty, has openly confirmed the family's unparalleled influence over world events. It says unparalleled. Speaking in a recent CNBC interview, the daughter of Lord Jacob Rothschild admitted that no government or king has gone to war without the Rothschild family's support and approval. If you don't get approved by these niggas, there's no war happening. There is no war happening, underscoring their control over international banking and the flow of capital that powers global conflicts. Dame Hannah highlighted how Mayor Amschel Rothschild founded the empire in the 1760s in Frankfurt, and strategically sent his 5 sons, Amschel, Solomon, Nathan, Carl, and James, to the major capitals of Europe: Frankfurt, Vienna, London, Naples, or Naples and Paris. This created the world's truly international banking network, allowing the family to dominate cross-border finance. They control it all. They control the World Bank. They control the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. They control the Bank of International Settlements. All of these things. They control BlackRock. They control Blackstone. Okay? All of these assets, all of these companies, all right, that holds such influence over world affairs, they control it. You see?
This is an extraordinary story. So he was born in a place called the Judengasse, which was a Jewish ghetto, basically. And it was the house that he lived in when he eventually had 13 children was only 14 feet wide. And he lived there with his very, very overpowering and dominant and an incredibly brilliant wife who was called Guttel. He was determined to get out of this ghetto. At nighttime, the ghetto was closed. You weren't allowed to leave. The street was so narrow that no sunlight could penetrate. There was no plumbing, there was no sewage, there was nothing. So everything you can imagine happened in this street. And unsurprisingly, he wanted to get out of there. And he started a small coin business, and that did reasonably well. But actually, and this is where it ties into legacy, his great strength was to send his 5 sons to the capitals of Europe at that time. And what they did is they set up, in effect, the first international banking system. So whereas everyone used to be in separate different countries or separate cities until then, these 5 boys communicated with each other, sometimes by pigeon, and they wrote to each other in Judendeutsche, which was a kind of Yiddish German vernacular. And that is why they were so successful. And this absolute belief in togetherness, you've got to stand together, you've got to work together, you've got to work across borders, you've got to work with rules. And by 1789, when the last one went, to 1815, so a very, very short period of time, it was said that no government or king would consider going to war without the Rothschilds supporting them, because that was how incredibly influential and powerful they had become. This is an
There you go. All right, there you go. Here we go. Check this out. All right. Let me avert your eyes to the torment that you see before you. This creature known as Gutel Shepner Rothschild, wife of Mayor Amschel Rothschild. Okay? She says, if my sons did not want wars, there would be none. So much can be said in just that one sentence alone. Let's check out one of the sons. One of these sons speaking here. Nathan Rothschild, one of the 5 sons that was sent forth. He said, I care not what puppet is placed upon the throne of England to rule the empire on which the sun never sets. The man who controls Britain's money supply controls the British Empire, and I control the British money supply. See what I'm saying? So if they control these different assets, if they control these different banking institutions, okay, that means that they are the ones who are behind all of these things. When you look at the book from General Smedley Butler, all right, called War is a Racket, okay, it explains these things. When you look at the book called All Wars Are Bankers' Wars, it explains these things. You see? So, you know what I'm saying? This is the truth. All right, this is the truth that they don't want to admit. Okay? But as we just saw with the heiress to the dynasty of Rothschild, she just said what? She just said the quiet part out loud that yes, they control all these things. They control the money supply. They control, you know what I'm saying, if wars start or not. They're the ones who control that. You see what I'm saying? So is it far fetched that they also financed those slave ships? Is it far fetched to believe that? You see what I'm saying? But these are the things, all right, these are the shameful spewings that's upon their glory now. You know what I'm saying? This is Psalms chapter 73 and verse 12. It reads, "Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches." This is Meyer Amschel Rothschild, who was originally known as Meyer Amschel Bauer. All right. He changed his name to Rothschild. He became the progenitors of the Rothschild family. He said, "Give me control of a nation's money supply, and I care not who makes its laws." Okay. So this is how Esau works. Okay. Now let me end this off with the precept that I started off with. Let's go back to Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 20. It says, "Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord, that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them." And that would be the Amalekites. Okay? And at the helm of the chief tribe of Amalek would be the Rothschilds, one of the 13 families. Okay? Those who call themselves the illuminated ones. This is Lucifer that the scriptures is talking about. You see? So I pray this lesson was edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. This has been your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. In closing, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruach. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, of whom I've grown in this truth under. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, and ain't she ugly. Shalom.